Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss Green Lantern, the god-awful version, I'll say. Not the animated direct, but the god-awful one, starring Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively, Peter Sarsgaard, Mark Strong, Angela Bassett, and Tim Robbins, and directed by Martin Campbell. Now, before I get into this movie, I remember going to theaters for this, trying to write a review for this, just like I did with Thor, for example. But, I was out of my mind then. Let's see how I think of it now. Let's get into it. We start off with the voiceover of the history of the Green Lantern Corps, and then we move on to a scene where we're introduced to Parallax, voiced by Clancy Brown, attacking the three Green Lanterns, and next scene, we move on to a purple alien named G.B.M.H, played by Tamora Morrison from the last two Star Wars prequels. As Parallax attacks him, which looks cartoony, the effects in this movie look very bad. I'm going to admit it right now. Hal Jordan, played by Ryan Reynolds, is a Tony Stark / Maverick from Top Gun ripoff, and he's very unlikable here. And in the extended cut, he's got a reason why he's having flashbacks, but to his father's death a long time ago. But it doesn't change my opinion of the movie in general. His wing partner and best friend Carol Ferris, played by Blake Lively, whom she and Ryan Reynolds are married in real life because of this movie after his divorce with Scarlett Johansson. And her character comes off very unlikable too. And this training plane sequence and throughout this movie, it's just, I don't know, I don't like it. Meanwhile, Aben Sur, the ring of the Green Lanterns, and it gets the ring of the Green Lanterns to pick Hal Jordan for reasons I don't understand whatsoever, and it says he's fearless, but I need a better explanation than that, because that's just lazy writing in general, to quote Deadpool 2. Hal tries to save Aben Sur, but is unsuccessful, and this plot makes no freaking sense. Sinestro, played by Mark Strong, who you know he's evil because of his name. And remind me, what kind of name is Sinestro, unless if you're evil? Because think about it, his name is mostly like sinister with the last letter O. And he warns the head of the Green Lanterns of an attack that might happen, which is ridiculously stupid, and this whole movie is stupid. Dr. Hector Hammond, played by Peter Sarsgaard, is asked to come with the government and meets Dr. Amanda Waller, played by Angela Bassett, to check on the alien, aka Aben Sur. Dr. Hector Hammond is a very silly villain. In the extended cut, it shows he was in love with Carol as kids, but likes Hal instead. And becomes a brainiac as a villain, and with Parallax, makes no damn sense. And Angela Bassett's Amanda Waller is a better version than Viola Davis from Suicide Squad, sure, which admittedly, in my opinion, is the weakest DC Extended Universe movie, but Bassett's portrayal isn't good either. Hal, after having a drink with Carol, gets beat up in an alley by three people who lost their jobs because of him earlier in the movie, and the ring takes him to Oa, which is the planet of the Green Lantern Corps, and becomes Green Lantern 40 minutes into this movie, which was lazy writing. He then makes Tamara, voiced by Jeffrey Rush. Tamara, voiced by Jeffrey Rush, who's a race that looks like a fish, and Oa looks like a green screen that makes the movie look cartoony in a bad way. Hal is training with Kilowog, voiced by Michael Clark Duncan, who admittedly I'm a fan of, and I do miss him as an actor these days. May he rest in peace. Then Sinestro makes Hal realize he's afraid and goes back to Earth, and this is why these characters are not relatable, and as I'm bored. And that's not a good thing for a comic book movie as far as I'm concerned. Hector's father, played by Tim Robbins, comes off unlikable as well, and he's not pulling off his Oscar-winning performance like he did in Mystic River. And Sinestro wants a power ring to defeat Parallax that's yellow, and next thing you know, Hector tries to kill his father, and Hal as the Green Lantern, and as he uses his mind as a race car track, as Hector almost kills Carol, but Hal saves her, And these scenes look bad, like just really bad, like Batman and Robin looking bad, in my opinion. Hal tells his best friend and Carol that he's the Green Lantern superhero, as Hector goes back with Amanda and confronts his father and gets trapped and uses his mind powers against his father and Amanda until Hal shows up and Hector suddenly knows it's Hal and knows he's in love with Carol and kills his father, and Parallax knows his name and how he got the ring by Abe and Sur, who imprisoned Parallax all those years ago. And my problem is it goes nowhere as Hal goes back to Oa to convince the rulers to save Earth and humans, and they say no. And he fights to save Earth and humans, starting with getting Hector and saving Carol, which felt very unrealistic. And Hector fails Parallax, and Hal fights Parallax in New Orleans, which I've been there recently. And what more danger does the people of New Orleans need? Hal beats Parallax with gravity and space, pulling him dead, and does that make sense? Absolutely not. During the credits scene, Sinestro puts on the yellow ring that he made earlier in the movie and becomes evil, and that made absolutely no sense as there's no sequel coming. Thank God, too. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 1.8 out of 10. The movie made no sense whatsoever as the effects look cartoony and bad, the characters are very unlikable, and these names are stupid. This is the stupidest DC movie I've ever seen, as Oa looks like a green screen pile of garbage. This is the worst of the DC movies, like I said, by far, with Superman 4. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining me, and I don't know when I'll come back for DC, but until then, Green Lantern's light. Not.